I know you must be thinking that it's cold where I am because I'm wearing a scarf, but it is in fact about 95 degrees outside. But I simply can't wait any longer to wear some of my new fall clothes, even though this color is kind of summery. So I'm wearing it inside where there's air conditioning, like a loser, so don't judge me. This is a frequently asked questions video. If you would like to ask a question to hopefully be answered in these videos, be sure to like the Small Things blog on Facebook. You can also follow me on Twitter, which is K_smallthings. And when I put out a call for questions, you can post your questions there, and I kind of pick the ones that I think will be most universally interesting to answer. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is it really necessary to use makeup, cleansers, etc., all from the same company? Some companies claim their products won't work right if you don't use everything from their line. So this is a great question because you're right, a lot of companies will say that you can't, it doesn't matter if you use the cleanser, if you don't use the moisturizer, nothing will work. And I think sometimes in some cases that matters, but for the most part, I really have to say I don't think it matters that you stay within the same brand. In fact, for a while I was using L'Oreal Everpure Volume Shampoo and Pureology Hydrate Conditioner because I liked what each product did individually, and I didn't necessarily like the conditioner that went with the L'Oreal Everpure, and I liked the shampoo from Pureology, but I really liked the shampoo from Everpure. So it doesn't matter as much. I wouldn't worry about it unless you have a specific skincare need, like let's say you're trying to combat acne. I think in those cases it matters that you use a certain cleanser, toner, moisturizer, kind of like the whole proactive concept. But other than that, just pick your favorites and mix and match. Let me take a second here and show you my brand new phone case. I just opened this up, it came in the mail. Jen Ramos is the artist. She sells these beautiful pieces of art on canvases and other phone cases, and I think maybe iPad cases, but you can find her on Society6 website. Just Google Society6 and you'll go to their website and search for Jen Ramos. Okay, the second question is, have you ever used the Instyler? And if so, what is your opinion on it? Simply, no, I haven't ever used it. So, you know, my opinion is kind of based on nothing other than thought. But I think it's like an interesting idea. I don't think it's a game changer. There's no way it does what the infomercial pretends like it does. It's just impossible. But it's not impossible, but the likelihood that you're going to get the same result as those chicks on the infomercial is very slim to none. So don't believe that lie. But it could be good for blow drying and round brushing sort of at the same time, as long as you're willing to work with it and practice, because I don't think it's a really intuitive thing to do. I think you're going to have to really learn how to manhandle it and know which direction to hold it and not rip all your hair out as you're going. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever try it. Maybe I'd try it out of curiosity, but I don't think, it would be a shock if I found myself saying, I think it's great, I'd recommend it to everybody, because it's just kind of weird. But try it. I mean, check the return policy if you're interested in it. You can return it, who cares? Give it a shot. The next question is, how do you prevent shedding? I seriously shed like a golden retriever. And I grew up with a golden retriever, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, that is the rest of her question. So shedding, but I get this question a lot, and I can't remember if I've addressed it in the past, so if I have, I'm sorry if this is a repeat. But on average, it is normal for a woman, possibly a man as well, to lose up to 100 hairs a day. So if you're one of those people that every morning in the shower you're just raking through your hair and pulling out strings of hair, typically you shouldn't be alarmed. Like, it's very normal to lose hair, 100 hairs a day-ish. Some people shed more than others. Some people almost never lose hair. It's just everyone's hair is so different, and that all has to do with when you were in the womb and how your hair was sort of developing. So it is normal to shed. Preventing it is kind of hard because it's just a natural process of sort of letting go of the dead old hairs and making room for new hairs. The best thing is to brush it out really nicely. If you brush it out before you shower, you shouldn't have as many stray hairs in the shower clogging up your drains. So I would use like a really nice, maybe boar bristle or a good brush, and really brush through your hair before you shower to pull some of those hairs out. And if you shed a lot during the day, try not messing with your hair that much. So if you don't touch your hair, you're not as prone to pulling out the little hairs. So I'd say the majority of the maintenance is going to come in before you shower when you're brushing the hair. The next question is, what are some good styling products for styling your hair in the morning if you wash your hair the night before? So I got a couple of questions about this topic, and I also noticed that the questions got a lot of likes. So that's a cool gauge for me to be able to see what people are interested in having answered in these videos. So if you come across a question that you think would be cool for me to answer, go ahead and give it a like. Anyway, so in this situation, women are showering at night, washing their hair at night. I'm thinking blowing it dry and then going to bed and wanting to style it in the morning. So one thing is, you're not going to have nearly the same amount of volume as if you started in the morning, but you can do things to encourage volume in your hair as you sleep in it at night. One of those things would be getting one of those old school 1980s soft scrunchies, or if you want to be cool and trendy, you could just get a twist band and wear your hair in a ponytail, like right on top of your head. Just flip upside down and pull it into the highest ponytail, so all of your hair is going to be up on your pillow, and that way the entire night it's spent in the upward position, so when you let it down in the morning it won't be totally flat. And then some styling products I would recommend would be Redken Hot Sets 22. If you want to flat iron or curl or do whatever, spraying a little bit of that on even your roots or mid-shaft ends, wherever you're doing sort of the heat, will give it a little bit of hold, and you can sort of clean up the hair a little bit from the night before. Another product that is good to use on dry hair for texture is a texturizing powder. I like Lanza's texturizing dust the best, and this is going to feel a little chalky, so you're going to have to be okay with the feeling of product in your hair, but it'll give you a little bit of texture so it's not really slippery and clean. And then the last product I'd recommend would be hairspray. So if you find a medium hold hairspray, you can spray that on your hair before you curl, and it'll give it a little bit of hold but still be brushable and forgiving. And then on that same note, if you want to lift up your roots a little bit, spray a little hairspray or some of that Redken Hot Sets at your roots, and then put your flat iron right in at your roots and lift straight up, and the heat from the iron with the product will help sort of freshen up your hair and even out any kinks or weird things that happen in the night. The next question is, what type of brush do you use for that salon look blowout that you can never get at home? So I'm glad that someone asked this question, because I think one of the main differences between clients and stylists is the sheer time spent on the hair and the sections taken. So a lot of times when I've had my clients style their hair themselves in the chair so I can watch and sort of assess what they're doing to help them when they're styling their hair at home, is they try and rush through it and go fast and take monster sections to deal with, whereas stylists are going to take their time, mostly because they enjoy doing it and it's a service for you, but they're going to take a lot smaller sections so that each section of hair is a lot easier to manage. So if you want sort of the salon look at home, whether you're blow drying with a round brush or flat ironing or whatever you're doing, try to consciously take smaller sections than what you're naturally inclined to take. Even if it takes a little bit more time, I think it'll really pay off in the end. So more than just the brush that they use, I think it's the technique of the time and sectioning. But also, if you love the way your hair looks when you leave the salon, and you think the brush has something to do with it, which it probably does to a certain degree, ask the stylist what the brush is and see if she can get you one. For the most part, there's no reason why they're not able to pick you up one of those brushes, or just ask her maybe what size round brush it is, or if it's boar bristle or plastic bristle, so you can look for something that's similar. But like I said, more than the brush, it has to do with the time spent and the sectioning. The last question is, can you cut your own split ends between haircuts? So a very simple answer to this question would be yes, you can. Should you? Probably not. I mean, if it's unbearable, sure, you can snip your ends, but I think you should take that as a sign that you need a whole haircut, because a lot of times, even if you find little split ends around the front, if you like to play with your hair when you're sitting somewhere and you notice like, oh, I have a bunch of split ends, instead of just taking the shears and nicking the front section, you should probably think to yourself, there's probably split ends on the rest of the ends of my hair instead of just the ones in front, so it might be time for a haircut. So you can, I wouldn't highly recommend it if it's like on your bangs and it's right in your face and you're brunette and so those ends are really sticking out. I mean, sure, just don't take a lot off. Take like just the split end off, but take that as a sign that it's time for a trim. So those are all the questions that I have for this FAQ video. I hope it was helpful for you. If you want to watch any others, you can visit my YouTube channel by searching the Small Things blog in the search box on YouTube, and you can also find them on my website. Thanks for watching.